Hey, what's up guys? This is Pac-Man Trolls here with another Deck Tech video of Magic the Gathering. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, but hope you guys don't mind that, and I got another Deck Tech. So, this is my brother's new Dragon deck that he just finished. We've been looking for this for a while actually, and it's a great deck. We have 22 Red Mountain lands that you guys can see right here. That's 22 mountains, so that's the main base of the deck, honestly. But we added in 4 of the Evolving Wilds, which sacrifice the card, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. These are really good with helping your land get out more, because you're shuffling and you'll always be drawing other cards and land and all that. They're very useful. They help me out a lot with my Mono Blue Devotion deck tech, which I may just post in the description below, so you guys can check that one out if you want to. It just, yeah. So there's the land base of the deck for the most part. Now we got our creatures we're getting into. For a 1-drops, I believe we only have one of these, and that's a Slumbering Dragon, 1 red mana. It's a great card because it's flying, and it's a 3/3 in the beginning of the game, but the problem is it can't attack or block unless it has 5 or more +1/+1 counters on it. And whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you put a +1/+1 on it. So it's a 1-drop with a 3/3, and when they attack, it will become a 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, 7/7, 8/8. Once it becomes an 8/8, you will be pretty much good to go, I think. Because, yeah. Once it becomes an 8/8, you'll be good to go, and you'll be able to attack. And you only paid 1 red mana for it, so that's a great card to have. Our next 2-drop cards in the deck are Dragon Hatchlings. 1 red and 1 colorless. And what you do is they are flying, and if you tap 1 red mountain, they get a +1 attack until end of turn, and they're 1/1 until the end of turn with flying. So those are great cards to have. We have 4 of those, if you guys can see right here. Great cards to have in our deck in general, but especially for the Dragon deck. Now we have 4 of these too. These are good cards to have as well. We have the 4 Dragon Speaker Shamans, which are 2 red and 1 colorless, and dragon spells you cast 2 less mana to cost. We have the 2 old school ones right there, and we got the 2 newer ones right there. So, doesn't matter which ones you got, but that's pretty much what we got. And then we got the next drop of 3 mana is Dragon Egg. 1 red, 2 colorless. What it does is it's a defender, so it can't attack, but when it dies, you put a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. It has tap 1 red mana, and it gets a +1 attack until end of turn. So it'll become a 3/2 with flying until the end of turn when you tap the 1 red mana. And it's a 0/2 defender. And then we got the 5-drop here coming up. We got Stormbreath Dragon, we have 1 of. 2 red, 3 colorless, flying, haste, and protection from white. It has a monstrosity 3, which means if you tap 2 red and 5 colorless, it gets a +3/+3 basically. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. When it's monstrous, it deals damage to opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. So it's a brutal card. It's a 4/4, and it could become a 7/7 with monstrosity. But there's a lot of other tricks up this deck's sleeve, so just wait. We got more cards coming up here. We got the Scourge of Vilkas, which is a 5-drop as well. 3 red, 2 colorless. It's a flying. Whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to a target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Scourge of Vilkas gets a +1/+0 until the end of turn. It's a 4/4. I just realized me and my brother had been messing this card up. He has it out on the field. If he plays another dragon, it deals more damage because of how many dragons are out. You've been keeping an eye on that? I haven't. Okay. We got another good dragon that is amazing. All of them are. Steel Hellkite, 6 mana drop of colorless mana, flying, and if you tap 2 colorless, it gets a +1/+0 until end of turn. Tap X amount of mana, destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X, whose controller was dealt combat damage by Steel Hellkite this turn. Activate the ability only once each turn, and it's 5/5. That's actually a really good card. Then we have our 6 mana drops. Again, a Hellkite Charger, 2 red and 4 colorless, flying and haste. When it attacks, you may pay 2 red and 5 colorless. If you do, untap all attacking creatures, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase, and it's a 5/5. So if you have a lot of mana, that's a really good card because you can just attack again. We got Flame Blast Dragon, 2 red, 4 colorless, flying. When it attacks, you may pay 1 red and X amount of mana. If you do, it deals X damage to a target creature or player. And it's a 5/5 as well. This one's a great card. Siege Dragon. You guys have probably seen this card a lot, but it's a great card in there. 2 red, 5 colorless, flying. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all walls the opponent controls. And then whenever it attacks, defending player controls no walls. It deals 2 damage to each creature without flying that the player controls, and it's a 5/5. So another great dragon card. Also, we have Furyborn Hellkite. This is a 7 mana drop as well. 3 red, 4 colorless. We have Bloodthirst 6. If an opponent was dealt damage this turn, it enters the battlefield with 6+1/+1s. It's a flying. So if your opponent was dealt damage, let's say you shock the opponent, deals 2 damage to the opponent, then you play this card. It enters the battlefield as a 12/12 with flying. So it's a great card. We got more here. The Balefire Dragons, right here. 2 red, 5 colorless. Flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls, and it's a 6/6. So that deals 6 damage to each creature the player controls when it deals combat damage to your health. This is another one we have, the Ancient Hellkite, with a 7 mana drop as well. 3 red, 4 colorless. Flying, and it deals tap 1 red. It deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls, and activate it only as Ancient Hellkite is attacking. 6/6. We got a Utraveral Hellkite. Great card here. A 8 mana cost, 2 red, 6 colorless, flying. When it enters the battle, whenever a dragon you control attacks, put a 6/6 red dragon creature token on the flying onto the battlefield, and it's a 6/6. We got the Bogarden Hellkite, 2 red and 6 colorless, so it's another 8 mana drop. Flash, so it can cast it as if it were an instant. And it's flying, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players, and it's a 5/5. For our instance we're getting into now, we have Shocks. 4 of those. 1 red drop, deals 2 damage to each creature or player. Shock. Great cards. We have 3 Lightning Strikes. 1 red, 1 colorless. Deals 3 damage to a target creature or player. We have 2 Incinerates. Again, 1 red, 1 colorless. But Incinerate deals 3 damage to a target creature or player, and a creature dealt damage this way cannot be regenerated. We got a Ghostfire, which is a 3 drop, 1 red, 2 colorless. Ghostfire is colorless, actually, and it deals 3 damage to a target creature or player. And this is Flame Slash, another good card we have here. 1 red drop, and it deals 4 damage to a target creature. For 1 red drop, that's pretty damn good. Now we have this card, which is amazing. Sorcery. And it is a Dragonstorm. 1 red, 8 colorless, so it's a 9 drop. But search your library for a dragon permanent card, any dragon, and put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. And it has Storm, which means if you cast spells before it, what you do is you cast spells, like let's say you cast a Shock and another Shock. You take 2 mana out of your 11 you have. Then you tap the rest of your mana. You can search your library for 3 dragons, put them on the battlefield, and then shuffle. Now we are getting into the still some sorceries here. We got Banefire. This is a good one too. 1 red mana and however many other you tap. It deals X damage to the target creature or player, and if X is 5 or more, it can't be countered by spells or abilities, and damage can't be prevented. So that's 4 of those. Really good. And now we're getting into the last couple of things here, which is good because this video is already pretty long. We have Armillary Spear, which is good. 2 colorless mana. If you tap 2 and tap it, you sacrifice this and search your library for 2 basic land cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle. So it helps again with getting your land out because you definitely need it in this deck. Our 2 last cards, and the ones that have a trick up our sleeve with all this giant growth of our dragon creatures, we have 2 Crucible of Fires. 1 red, 3 colorless, and dragon creatures you control get a +3/+3. So all our dragons, pretty much, when we get both these out, get a 6/6 plus on to their 5/5s and 6/6s and 8. They just get huge. So this is the Dragon deck tech. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Nonetheless, this is Pac-Man Trolls. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.